We are live. Numbskull News doing it live. And I'm also putting up Christmas lights today. Been working on this shit all damn day. In case you haven't noticed, I have Mondays off. For now, I am a UPS driver. We're in peak season. And at least that just kicked up. And don't know how much longer I'm going to have Mondays off. more than one day off a week. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm doing this shit live on Mondays, every Monday. We'll be doing it. So, this particular live stream, I'm going to focus more on reviewing where we're at in the Big 12. Season's over. Going to have a little early season review. We're not really at another month of the year left, Christmas season and all. But, we can kind of go over the regular season at least, maybe talk a little bit about this coming up championship game. And right now, I think the Big 12 is doing pretty damn well. Now, last I looked, that how should you say it? Last I looked, the Big 12 was getting pretty good ratings. I mean, half the conference, roughly half the conference, is about 1 million viewers a week, a little over 1 million viewers a week, except for Colorado, which is well over 1 million viewers a week. That's outstanding. That's outstanding. That's exactly what we need. Now, if you're an SEC fan, for instance, you'll think that's dog shit. Okay. I mean, I don't give a damn. I mean, I've had SEC people come at me, Alabama fans especially. What are you coming at me for? A Big 12 fan? A TCU fan? You're going to come at me. For what? For what? Because here's the thing. TCU is not my biggest, most passionate love as far as sports, or football especially. And football that's the sport I love more than any other. But TCU does not have my heart. I am a proponent of TCU because that's my hometown team in college football. So that's my team as far as that goes. But my number one team is the Dallas Cowboys. So I understand where SEC people, especially Alabama people, are coming from. Because when you have a little bit of a down year, everyone wants to stomp all over you, right? Stomp on you. I get it. I mean, the Cowboys haven't won jack shit in 30 years. And guess what? We're still the biggest deal in sports. Period. End of story. The biggest deal. The Cowboys get the biggest ratings out of anybody in the NFL, out of anybody in sports, period. There's no other franchise. There's no program. There's nothing that gets ratings like the Dallas Cowboys. It's the number one TV show in the land, and it has been that for, I don't know, what, 40, 50 years? I'm not even joking here, but about that. So I get it. There's a lot of people that are jealous of the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of people that get pissed off. People in the media, like, man, why do we got to cover the Dallas Cowboys every day? Because we're the biggest fan base. We're the ones that are going to read more shit and all that. So when it comes to ESPN always talking about the SEC, I understand, because as far as what they have the rights to, that's the biggest fan base. So they're going to cater to that fan base. I'm not going to piss and moan about that. But SEC people and Alabama fans especially should not piss and moan about the Big 12. What the hell are you doing? I don't waste my time pissing and moaning about Cleveland Browns fans. Okay? I'm not over here taking a shit on the MAC as a Big 12 fan. So why are you taking a shit on us? I love the whole Left Behind conference. That was who was it? Outlaw of College Sports trying to old Outlaw trying to get at me a little bit. I understand I was trolling his channel. Cool. But I don't understand the Left Behind thing. And I tweet, we tweeted back and forth. We talk shit. It's friendly banter. Nothing more than that. But I don't get the Left Behind thing. What are we left behind in? Revenue? Okay. I mean, not by they make twice what we do, but the Big 12 still makes a healthy freaking living. They do. These teams aren't poor by any stretch of the imagination. There's G5s that would look at us in awe, like, oh my God, I'd love to make Big 12 money. So, and it's not about the money you make. How are you spending it? How are you spending it, Alabama? I mean, because for 9-3 for a Big 12 team, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. You would want like a little more. Colorado, that is not good enough for Colorado. That's not good enough for Coach Prime, but that's a hell of a jump from 4-8. That's a nice jump from 4-8. Alabama, probably going to miss the playoffs. I know everyone's trying to put them in. Everyone's trying to find a way. Who are you leaving out? You're going to have to leave out 2 lost teams. Pretty good brands. You're going to have to leave out Miami. Someone like that. And would you be willing to jump Alabama over South Carolina, who's playing way better ball right now? I don't think you do. I think it's retarded that Alabama people actually think they deserve to be in the playoffs. How about this? As a Dallas Cowboy fan, we're not making the playoffs in the NFL, and there's no way in hell we would deserve to make the playoffs. I wouldn't want to. There were times where the NFC East was complete dog shit, and being like a 500 team would win you the conference. I didn't want to win the conference as a Cowboy fan. It's not how I want to do it. If you're in a down conference, you ought to be at 10 plus wins, not just scraping in to the freaking postseason like the Redskins did one year. Then they got bounced in the first round real quick. Same thing with the Giants. They scraped in there on a down year and got bounced first round. I didn't want that for the Cowboys. I'm like, you know what? If you suck. Just go to the back of the line and restart this bitch. But, it's a different deal. I'm just trying to say I kind of understand where Alabama fans are coming from because I'm a Cowboys fan. And when we're down, people love to shit on us. And when we're up, we love to rub it in people's faces. So I kind of get it. But like I said, as a Cowboys fan, I'm not jumping on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not jumping on the Cleveland Browns. I'm not jumping on the Detroit Lions or anyone else who's who never wins shit. I'm not doing that. As a Cowboy fan, I'm a little better. I'm looking inward. I'm looking at my owner. I'm looking at the head coach. I'm looking at all that. So why don't y'all do that? Why don't y'all try some of that instead of wanting to shit on the Big 12? Really? We're a threat? We're a threat enough for you to shit on us? And stop wanting all of your 9-3 teams in the playoff. That's embarrassing. You just want you want credit for something that y'all did back then? And look, I know Alabama won a title recently. Georgia has won a title recently. But what have you done this year? Not much. Not much. 9-3. Ooh. And look, I know you got a great schedule. But again, you cannot beat good teams and get kicked in the balls by OU, who's 6-6, or lose to Vanderbilt, who's 6-6. It's one thing if you're 9-3 and your 3 losses are the caliber of losses of South Carolina. They actually got beat by the upper teams, 3 of the upper teams in the SEC, not 2 of the shit level teams. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. What's up, Mr. Monkey says? I appreciate you being here, sir. Yeah, Monday nights. I'm trying to make this thing happen on Monday nights. Well, let's get into this Big 12 crap. I've waited long enough. Pissed on Alabama again. Oh, well. Let's talk about the Big 12 versus Boise State for that bye week. Yeah. Everyone seems to think, hey, Boise State has to lose. Do they? Do they understand? The committee has their biases. They don't think that much of the G5. They don't. So even if Boise State, and they should be the favorite to win the Mountain West title, and good job. Dude, I'm a Boise State fan. I was a proponent at one time of Boise State getting into the Big 12. Before the landscape completely changed, I thought Boise State would do well here. I still think they can do well in the Big 12. Will that happen? No. It's too late. But you know what? If you want to reform the pack using Boise State, hell of a good move. I fully support it. I think it's great. That's realignment talk. When you're talking football, if you're going to sit there and talk about strength of schedule out the asshole for the SEC, like, oh, 93, but look at the strength of schedule. Well, we need to apply that logic to the Big 12. And I'm sorry, Arizona State and Iowa State have faced way better competition than freaking Boise State has. They just have. How much credit do they get for beating Oregon State, who sucks this year? And I mean, they suck this year. Their coach left. Once they were knocked out of the Power Four, once there was no road to the Big 12, and there sure as hell wasn't no road to the ACC. Once they were going to be left out on an island by themselves. The coach left, the players left. You know, Washington State has put together at least a bowl eligible squad. They had a pretty decent year, but yeah, excuse me, by the way. But I mean, how much credit does Boise State get for beating Oregon State? Now, I give them credit for beating UNLV. I don't think the G5 gets enough credit. And you know what? They're not going to get enough credit when it comes to the CFP. Even when it expands to 14 or 16 teams getting in, how many G5s are going to get in with that? Rarely, ever, ever, ever 2 teams. Rarely will that ever happen. But everyone seems to think, oh, put the Big 12. I've seen projections, these dumbass projections. I don't know why people bother retweeting this shit. I mean, I've seen one where Alabama is the 11th seed and like Arizona State is the 12th seed. What kind of dumbass shit is that? What is that? Are you kidding me? 3-loss Alabama over an Arizona State at that point, Power 4 champion. And it's 12 team. No. Let's just forget about that. But when it's Boise State, I don't think you can put them in a lock position when it comes to having a bye week. I could say they probably have a lock position on having a home field advantage in the first week. I could see that. 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed, 9 seed. I can see that. I can see that. But it's not a foregone conclusion, I don't believe, like everyone seems to think it is, that Boise State is going to automatically jump the Big 12. I know they're ahead of them in the ratings right now, the rankings right now. I don't give a shit. Who are they playing? Oh, I know I got some comments here. Let's see here. Does anyone know? I don't know. Hold on. I need to know who Boise State actually is facing. Because if it's actually UNLV, that might be a rematch. I would like that. That'd be good. UNLV. They got UNLV. Okay. Okay. That's a legit get. That's a legit opponent, I think. But again, that's your best win. That's their best win right now is UNLV. So they have to beat them again. And by the way, I told y'all at some point, I can't remember when, but Miami was not safe going against Syracuse. It was not a safe thing. You know, Kansas, boy, I didn't feel good about BYU versus Kansas. I didn't feel good about a lot of these teams versus Kansas. At the end there, of course, Kansas bit everyone in the ass and then turn around and not even make the damn playoff. Not even get a bowl game, I should say. Didn't even get a bowl game, bastards. If you're going to suck, suck. If you're going to come back and be good, then damn it, make a bowl game. And do something for the conference instead of just kick the thing in the ass and then sit at home. Shit year for KU. Arturo Balderas. Yeah, I know. I haven't been live in a couple of months. I started last week, and I'm going to continue this thing on Mondays. Damn it. We all know Bama is getting benefit of the doubt because of Saban's 6 chips. True, but that doesn't mean they're going to get in. As a matter of fact, I don't think they are. I'm putting a little bit of faith in this committee that they're going to get that right. I just think, in my last video, I busted it down, and I just think there's just too many teams that they got to crawl through. It's one thing to explain away South Carolina. If it was just South Carolina, you can kick them in the nuts, and you can say, hey, Alabama beat South Carolina, that's why they're in. Okay, it's an argument. A guy like Joel Klatt made that argument online on X, so you can use that argument. But then you got to say, okay, you get by South Carolina, you got to get by Miami. Getting by a 2-loss BYU, I mean, no one's going to complain much about that. But Miami, don't know. Or what if SMU loses in the ACC title game and they're 2-loss? Now you got to get them over SMU and Miami for that spot. I don't know. Or what if Georgia loses in the conference game and now they're 3 losses? Now you got to get them past Georgia as well. Well, they beat Georgia in the regular season. So, I mean, you can do it if you want to do it. But you got to get them through a whole line of teams in order to get there. And with that loss versus OU, my God in heaven, if they choose to do that, it's only name value. It's not because they ain't playing worth a shit. Alabama hadn't been playing worth a damn this year. And the inner strife, the inner drama with Milroe and some of the other players, that's a real thing. That's a real thing going on. I mean, you got SEC YouTube people, Alabama people on YouTube just pissing and moaning, complaining about Milroe and the Cancer 5 or whatever. Okay. Well, keep them out of the playoffs. Let them go to a lower bowl, and then hopefully you can get rid of those cancers in your locker room. Big love it. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here, sir. Do you have Gary Patterson's contact information? Texas Tech needs a defensive coordinator and now an offensive coordinator. Well, what was Tech's record? I know they finished off tough. What, 8-4? Still a little disappointing, isn't it, for Texas Tech? So let's talk. You know what? We're talking Big 12 shit right now. We're talking Big 12 shit right now. Yeah, let's talk some Texas Tech. 8-4, quality team. quality program, high quality program in the Big 12. I don't know. I'm always expecting more. I hate to say that. It's like I'm always shitting on Texas Tech. But I need a 10-2 season. Look, the Big Lubbock, I know you would love a 10. You want a 10-2 season. You think you should be there. I think you should be there. This conference is wide open. No one owns this conference. It could be Texas Tech's conference, at least for a season or a couple of seasons. I think Joey McGuire is a good coach. But damn, can we get over the hump? That's what it feels like. It's like, they can't get over the hump. Maybe it's like, because there was several years there, Georgia, it's like they could beat anybody in the SEC but Alabama. And they can never get over the hump themselves. Now, it's a little different. They're not even making it to a Big 12 title game. So there's a hump just getting there right now. Sorry, guys. Fucking allergies going on. But yeah, man, I think enough of Texas Tech where they should be better than 8-4. It's like Baylor. They've also finished 8-4. Went on a freaking incredible flurry, won last 6 games. And if that's what damn, what is that freaking coach that I thought should have been fired in the last 2 seasons? Anyway, if he's going to build it back up like that and do okay, because that shit was trending bad for a while. Started off bad. 2-4, that's a bad start. Turned it around. Is it sustainable? We'll find out next year. But I'm feeling a lot better about Baylor. But they should be doing better. 8-4 should be like the floor for a Baylor. And it should be a floor for a Texas Tech. You should never see Texas Tech at, sub not in a bowl. They should never be that bad. I don't think Baylor should really ever be that bad. I don't think TCU should really ever, 8-4 should be their floor. That 5-7 horse shit, bro, that was embarrassing. That was bad. Follow up a championship appearance, a national championship appearance with a 5-7. So 8-4, that tells me, okay, homeboy found a quarterback. Now, seems like Hoover can play, put some other pieces together, keep building that defense. Maybe TCU's got something. Maybe BYU has something. Does Texas Tech have something? Because they're also 8-4. Just to me, it just seems like, okay, for those 3 teams, really, 8-4, they should never go below that. And they should be able to spike up every few years. They should be able to do that. And West Virginia needs a new head coach. Yeah. Actually, that's one of my topics I was thinking about, because it's him and old Gus Malzahn. I believe he went to Florida State, offensive coordinator. And you know what? I kind of like Gus Malzahn as an offensive coordinator. I think Florida State will benefit from that. I think a lot of Gus Malzahn. I don't know what the hell happened at UCF. Crazy shit. I know everyone at UCF wanted him the hell out. And I got questions for you Knights fans out there. I'm a fan of you. I wanted you guys in the Big 12, just like probably more so than Boise State or pretty much anybody else. I thought UCF got robbed several years ago when they won the American back-to-back, went undefeated for 2 freaking years. No one can touch them. And got screwed out of playoff berths. They should have been in the playoffs at least one of those years. They got screwed. No question. However, what do you expect Gus to do? You expected, I know, y'all expected him to have that BYU year like BYU had this year. I get it. The dude went into the transfer portal, got a quarterback. I mean, everybody on the outside was like, wow, that's a nice get. And it was UCF, it was a popular sleeper pick in the Big 12 this past season. I mean, they were like a dark sleeper for me. I mean, maybe not my number one sleeper, but they were there. I didn't see them becoming, the flaming shits like they ended up being this year. Very disappointing. So I understand the firing. I don't know. It feels like you may have pulled the trigger a little too quick. I mean, I don't know if you're going to find another guy with the pedigree of Gus Malzahn. I just don't know. Maybe you find a younger coach who builds into that. I don't know. I thought that was a little bit quick trigger for Gus Malzahn. Maybe I don't follow the program that damn close. I don't live down there and shit. So maybe there's some other things. I don't know. I don't know what y'all are expecting. Second year in the Big 12 with 4 new squads coming in from the former Pac-12 schools, former Power 5 schools coming in. I don't know what y'all expected. Maybe look, it's good that the fan base has high expectations. That's great. But UCF ain't on Baylor's level, because I've been screaming about that guy. Damn, I am horrible with names. Freaking run a YouTube channel. Can't think of Baylor's head coach that should have been fired. Unbelievable. It's not what I'm looking for. Dave Aranda. Damn. Got to Google everything. Sorry, guys. I'm not one of those professionals out there that just has all this shit, stats and names and shit from 1985 to now and have it all memorized constantly. It's not me. But, yeah, there was a little bit more expectations on Baylor. When you win the conference, you have some good quality seasons, and then you just every year you're getting shittier and shittier. You're allowed to have questions. But UCF, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong, and the next coach, it's got the fuel, it's got the magic. Don't know. But yeah, Neil. Oh, Neil. Yeah, that's what Mr. Bouldeross is talking about. Neil Brown. It was time. And that's understandable. West Virginia, it's one of the winningest programs in history. Just ask a West Virginia fan to pull that stat out every time. Nothing but love for him, man. Nothing but love for him. But it's a proud program with a proud fan base. You gave Neil Brown about as much time as you would give anybody. And on his last year, you got 6-6, and you were, you're 8-4 last year. You were hoping for more. I was looking at West Virginia like, whoa, hey, this, they can get the 9-10 wins. No. They took that step backwards, and that just what? I mean, they're still bowl eligible. There's at least that, but come on, Neil. The nice guy is going to lose every time if that's what you do is lose. You got to be able to do better. So that sucks. And then Nick Saban talk. It's insane. The man's like, what, 75? Come on. I know you want a big name. It's a sexy name, but I don't believe that shit for a minute. He's probably still drawing a check from the University of Alabama for making sure their recruiting pipelines are still clear. He's drawing a check from ESPN. He's drawing checks from everywhere. So you don't need the problems. So no, stop talking Nick Saban. It ain't happening. Jimbo Fisher, maybe. Oh, who else? Urban Meyer. There's Urban Meyer. Oh my God. Just a little controversy. You know, you got to keep them out of the strip joints. You got to keep them out of the bars. But, you know, Urban Meyer turns the shit around. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see here. Tech is losing a 5-star wide receiver to the portal. That's going to happen. Now, Texas Tech has really been able to recruit on a high level. As you can see, they're losing a 5-star receiver. Trick is to keep them. You can't just have them. You got to be able to keep them. Our DC got fired and our OC got hired. I got you. Yeah, the offensive coordinator, I don't know. I don't think the offense was a big problem with Lubbock. I think it was the defense. But, yeah. And that's going to be the key there, of course. You got to have two coordinators who know what the shit's going on. So hopefully you make the right hire, because the wrong hire, yeah. We all know how that can end up. Does Tech have oil money like SMU, Texas, and A&M? They don't, actually. They kind of got screwed out of that. They don't get the kind of same, because there's a split with the money. A&M and Texas get the majority of that. SMU, I don't know that they get any of that. I don't, because they're a private school. Now they have big time oil donors, people with big oil money donors. I don't think they get the kind of, I guess what would you call it, land grant money or whatever, like Texas and Texas A&M do. I don't think so. Cody Campbell is an oil man. He has donated a ton of money. Tech has a lot of alums in Midland. True. So, yeah, Tech probably gets, they got a good alumni base, man. They got plenty of donors, but yeah, as far as the state oil coffers or whatever, I don't think they get a giant chunk. I think they got, like I said, I think they got screwed out of that. That's what I was told. They got screwed out of that a long time ago. Excuse me. I wonder if Frost would go back and try to rehab his career. Rehabbing of the career is always a tough thing. It's easier to do, like if you're a part, some underling under another big time coach, or you go to a much smaller level. Maybe. The Big Lubbock Prime has a good mini series Landman starring Billy Bob Thornton. Oh, good mini series. Takes place in Midland, Odessa. Did not know that. But when you say Midland, Odessa, I picture Billy Bob Thornton. Actually, it's Paramount Plus, but yeah, that show is fire. I haven't seen it. Might need to check it out. Especially, it looks like Yellowstone went to shit, so need something new. Don't forget about Urban Meyer disaster with Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. There's always a disaster with him. Bring Rich Rod back to Morgantown. I don't know. I don't know about these retreads, man. I don't know. I'm always bigger on the new blood, man. Who's a, big time Division II coach. Who's a guy that wins consistently at that level, who knows football, who does a lot with a little. That's what I'm looking for. A guy who can do a lot with a little. Give me a young head coach from the G5 level that's kicking ass. Who's been consistent. I don't know these names, but I know Tulane's been good for a while. I would give their head coach a gander. Who else has been good out there for a while? You know what? Look at the Boise State coach. I don't know. I don't know if he's young or old or whatever. I don't know if he's entrenched. I don't know. But I would take a look at him. I'll take a look at Colorado State's head coach. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at some of the better G5 head coaches and maybe possibly some Division II guys. Who's Liberty's coach? I mean, I'm looking at that. I don't know. That's just me. Fit for Expedition. What's up, man? What did I miss? Not a lot. I think I took a dump on Alabama again. But other than that, baseball season review, not as good as SMU. Well, SMU's had a hell of a year. Are you going to make the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, if you beat Clemson, yeah, obviously. But if you don't, I mean, look, I'm a TCU fan. I would put SMU in there, regardless of what happens in the title game. They earned that spot. Does the committee, do they respect SMU? I don't think they do. It's just where they've been placing you guys in their standings. It smells of disrespect to me. So, Billy Bob and Fargo was my all-time favorite series. I never watched it. Never saw the movie either. I need to. I've always heard good things, but it's just like something else happens, another movie happens, something. South Dakota and Buffalo U has good DCs. Well, I mean, if you're looking for a defensive coordinator, maybe. There you go. Maybe. Let's see. Texas State's head coach. They fell off a little bit. Let's give them some time there. Let them cook a little bit. I would say the same thing with UTSA's head coach. Let them cook for a little while. How good they do next year? What do they look like next year? I'll take a good look at Memphis's head coach. I mean, they've put together some seasons. San Jose has a good OC. See, now you're using the old ticker. There you go. Oregon's offensive coordinator to West Virginia. I mean, you can go coordinator. I just like the guys who already have done it. Like, typically, I think your more successful presidents are usually former governors, guys who have ran shit before. I typically value that more. I don't like Bill Clinton. I think he's a dirty sexual assaulter, and all that. But he was a successful president. He actually did a good job. Reagan did a good job. Both of them former governors. I think if you think, outside of Trump, because I think Trump, what you run into trouble with Trump, like in his first term, like Trump, because he didn't have it. Now think about it. He ran a company before, but not government stuff. Wasn't sure about how all that worked, and unfortunately, he had a lot of peckerheads that got in there and screwed stuff up. So a lot of bad hires, and he had to fire. Remember he fired a lot of people, just running through people, trying to find the right people. And you see head coaches do that. They get in there, they're not used to being in the big chair, and then they next thing you know, they have to fire their offensive coordinator, have to fire their defensive coordinator, have to fire somebody because they're not hiring the right people. They haven't governed before. You understand? They haven't had the big chair anywhere. And sometimes that screws you around a little bit. So for me, if I'm a West Virginia fan, I'm looking at people who are already head coaches on a lower level that have had success. Who, like I said, they have been able to recruit fairly well at a lower level and also been able to develop that talent. And they have people around them, offensive and defensive coordinators, who are good. And they know other people maybe on that lower level who they can bring with them That's what I'm looking for. If I'm every situation's a little different. Every situation's a little different. But if I'm West Virginia fan, I want someone who's been a head coach. And I'm looking at younger, lower level G5. That's what I'm looking at. West Virginia Mountaineers, big name coaches. Rich Rod Saban, fired UNC coach. Mac Brown, no. And look, he was decent with UNC. I don't know what UNC's thinking. I know they turned it around a little bit, but that's because of Mac Brown. Y'all usually suck nuts. Old Jacksonville, and you're talking Urban Meyer. Yeah, these are all retreaded bastards. And if I'm West Virginia, I'm not doing the retread. Not. I threw Urban Meyer out there, AAR, and thank you for being here, AAR. I know I haven't been here for a while, but thank you for being here. I threw out Urban Meyer as a joke. Now, of all the retreads, Urban Meyer's got a horrible reputation. But unlike old boy who used to coach for Baylor, he wasn't covering up sexual assault or anything. He wasn't doing. He may have been touchy-feely, okay, but more like cheating on his wife. Not flying with the team. Oh, I'm going to hang back and get my freak on while you losers jump on a plane and go somewhere. Yeah, if I'm West Virginia, I would really, like I said, to me, it's the younger head coaches that are doing it out there. Memphis, Colorado State, places like that. Tulane. I'm looking at those guys. Maybe some, maybe a couple of FCS schools that are always in it, and they got head coaching, something like that. The only other thing, Urban Meyer, I would think about. It's ridiculous, but I would think about it. Rob Ellen, season 1. You don't need to watch the movie beforehand. Billy Bob is a savage. I got you. I do need to see it. Mac Brown would be interesting. He still sell water to a fish. Sure. But man, that guy, he's got to be older than Biden by now. I don't know. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in the old guy anymore. I'm just kind of, and he shouldn't be interested. He should be done. That was his alma mater, wasn't it? Wasn't it at UNC? Isn't that where he got his start? If I'm Mac Brown, I'm done. I don't know if it's alma mater or not, but it's where he started. It's where he got his big reputation. It's where he got the Texas job. So after that, I think I'd be fired. Anyway, fuzzy balls. It depends on how SMU would lose. If they lose in overtime or last second field goal, they are in. And Clemson controls the game or wins by 7+, they're out. I don't think that matters. I mean, it would obviously be worse if it was a blowout, but I think any kind of a loss. I mean, overtime. You're right. Overtime loss. There would be some type of argument, a little more pushback to shoehorn in Alabama over a 2-loss at SMU, but I wouldn't trust it. Experts are saying if SMU, Mustangs, and Boise State University loses, they are likely out. Boise State does not win the Mountain West, the American team, whether that's too. I don't. Tell you the truth, I don't know if that would if you back up a minute. If Boise State now, here's the deal. Boise State loses, but Army wins. Army's in. Boise State's out. Yeah, I don't know that there's a way. I mean, because here's the thing: who's going to be the highest ranked? The highest ranked G5 champ. I know it's this year. It's the 5 highest ranked champs, but who's that going to be? It would be Boise State if they win. If UNLV beats them and Army loses to Tulane, would it then be UNLV? Would it be then the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana? I don't know if they win. So there's a line there. We'll see what happens. Damn. Sorry, guys. Freaking allergies. Well, I appreciate that, AAR. But you didn't miss much. I wasn't broadcasting. So, but I have redone it. I have gotten back into the swing. Ryan Day got delivered instant karma against Indiana. He ran up the score and said it was because of style points that he loses to a bad Michigan team at home. Great coaches don't have to. Yeah, it may have been a little bit of karma there. Mountaineers need a recruiter who can get great players from Florida, Mississippi, Pittsburgh, New York, D.C. areas, Carolinas. Yes, true. Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think it'd be the Rebels. Anyway, guys, I'm about to end this live stream. I still got a lot of Christmas lights to string up. It's going to be it's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm almost done. I got most of it done. I only spent like 6 hours on it today. Good God Almighty. Anyway, before I sign off, I just want to say rest in peace to Greg Swaim. The man was a gentleman, a scholar, liked to stir up the shit. Love the guy. Love the guy. I know he's been in hospice for quite a while. I've already wished him Godspeed on X, but I just wanted to say y'all keep that family in your prayers. You know, it's tough losing somebody during the holidays. Can't imagine it. Sucks. But you know, Greg Swaim has been in the business for a long time, man. The stuff that he's been around the sports thing for a long time, had a show for a long time, local radio show. And he was in a position where he could have big time people like me, you know, like micros channels on YouTube, but he never did. He was always really cool. You know, I'd see him in the comments once in a while. Very good man. And, you know, he'll be missed right there with the gold and blue dude, man. Just solid guy. Anyway, let me read the rest of these and I got to get going. They need to give auto bids to the 6 highest ranked conference champions, giving Power 4 buys and 2 highest G5 home games. Anything's possible, but I don't know. Okay, appreciate that, Fit. Committee going to stream Miami up. They could outlaw. Yeah, Arturo, Greg Swaim gone, man. Gone to the heaven. Anyway, thank you guys for being here, and I'll be here next Monday. Peace out.